Yo, what's up, guys? So I know I'm like in my hoodie and in a sweatshirt and shit like that, but I wanted to just make a video on my issues that I feel like I have with people that are just like overly anal about how you should lift and having strict, perfect form. So my issue with this is that, so like if you're doing calisthenics or any like dancing, or if you've done like gymnastics or any sort of like calisthenics where you're dancing and moving your body in like certain angles and degrees, you will know that the body can move in a whole bunch of directions. And any way you put it, you are working out a muscle. If your feet are turned out this way, if they're turning this way, if you're doing push ups from up here or over here or with your hand tilt, you are hitting different angles of muscles any way. If you are pushing some resistance, you are hitting some muscles. You know what I mean? So you are always hitting muscles. So the issue I have with people who are so anal about that is, this is what I'll say. I understand the analness because it's like you want to have perfect form so that way you don't fuck your shit up and you're not injured. But the thing is like I feel like that applies more to when you're lifting heavy ass weights and you need to pay attention. You got to focus when you're working out, when you're lifting things. You got to pay attention, so you could do it in all angles in different ways. So if people are trying to tell you, hey, no man, you should, when you do a squat, you don't have to come all the way up, it's not necessary, man. You only have to come to here, dude. You could do whatever the fuck you want. You're working muscles. If you come all the way up, you're fucking, like, sometimes when I deadlift or even when I squat, I might do some shit like, let's see if I can put this down for a second. I might do some shit like this, right? You can get the form better or whatever. Or you can do that, and then I'll come up, and then I'll go all the way up, like I'm humping. You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, I've been told you don't have to do that all the way if you're trying to just target this. And I'm like, no, that's cool. I can hit all muscles. And they're like, well, I was a personal trainer for like 10 years, and I'm like, well, I've been working out and dancing for like almost 15 years, so I feel like I know what I'm talking about. But in all honesty, again, if you ask any dancer or anything, but this motion right here, realistically, it's like you're humping. So that's going to help you in the bedroom. You know what I mean? So it's like you come up, or you can even mix it with a Hindu squat. Hindu squats, I've been told, no, you have to stand on your tippy toes. No, you don't. You're always working a different angle. So you could do it like this. You could stand on your tippy toes. You could do it from an angle like this. It's like calf raises too. You know what I'm saying? If you do calf raises, do them like that. If you turn your feet out, you're going to hit more of the outer. If you turn them in like this. You know what I'm saying? You could squat like this. You could squat like this. You can come all the way up. You could do a whole bunch of variations. You could do push-ups like this. You see? I'm barely fully extended. Then you could switch it up all the way extended. Now I'm hitting all the way up. When I do this, I'm focusing on one specific area in the chest where I'm just putting mad blood into that one spot. Now I put mine together like this. Boom. Now, when I was doing diamonds, I'm getting more of the innard. So it's like when people get too specific, too scientific, too anal, bro, just start paying attention to your body. Start becoming more aware, maybe even meditate a little bit, do some body awareness exercises, and feel. You'll know where you're hitting muscles. And start playing with angles, you know. Move your feet around. You could do it straight like this. You could come up like that. You could all the way down. You could do squats like this. I've had people be so anal. You could do squats like this, like you're taking a shit. I've had motherfuckers, no, you have to keep it straight. Don't listen to those people. My opinion. You can do whatever you want. Body is able to move in any fucking direction. Again, so you could do it like this. Boom. You can do it like you're squatting, or like you're taking a shit. You can put your legs together, but you gotta focus. Pay attention. And then you can apply all that stuff to the gym, to your lifting. Here, let me take off the shirt for the gains. You can apply that to your shit. You know what I'm saying? So then you do light weight. But check out people like, I don't care what people say about Michael Hearn, that maybe he does steroids or not. Doesn't fucking matter. This dude has been in the game for so long, and I know people like this. Like a lot of people that go to the gym, a lot of, from what I've noticed, this is just me. From what I've noticed, they're not around those heavy powerlifting athlete parents or family. Some of them, they just get into the gym. But you got to understand that there's people who have been working out since they were mad young. Like me, like my dad, for example, he's huge. He's bigger than me. I'm 30 now, and he's been bigger than me at 30. You know what I'm saying? His arms were like that when he was like 15, 20. They're probably almost 20 inches. And I know for a sake, like he don't do roids, man. I mean, like, we were too poor at the time for for him to do roids. If he was, that'd be crazy. But you could tell he was not. But being around, like when I watch Michael Hearn, like he will do reverse fucking. Let me put this shit back up. He'll do reverse, and he's all about. You gotta listen to these guys. These dudes who he grew up. I know I'm losing my train of thought for a second. They grew up in these places where the fuck's my split? I had a split. Where they were around people who were huge, who could mentor them. They were around like, okay, this is what I'm trying to say. So I used to breakdance, and I still do, you know. But I used to breakdance a lot, and I used to breakdance at Cornell. And I noticed that the Cornell breakdancers were usually better. They were usually better with moves and everything like that than the Ithaca College breakdancers. And then when we had a competition, the people from New York City floored the shit out of us, doing air flares, all this shit we could not do. And it's the environment. It's the environment they're in, the people they're around who inspire them. You look at the Korean breakdancers, they're all doing air flares. If everybody's doing air flares and flares, well, most likely it's going to be easier for you to pick it up because you see it in your literal consciousness. You see it around you. You see that it can be done in your mind. It's like when, I think it was the long jump, or some sort of run, but once this record was beat that no one was able to like ever do or whatever, once it was beat, then all of a sudden people were doing it. All of a sudden people were doing it because it was in the consciousness. They understood like, oh, this shit is possible. So it's like that. That's why I brought up Michael Hearn, because he was around those type of people growing up. You know what I mean? It's like a different thing. So, and also going back, muscle maturity, because you'll see him do like reverse incline, like 400 fucking pounds, and people would be like, oh my gosh, no injury. But like, I realized like, if you want to become, he's been working out for almost 40 years, so like constricted with your foundation, you know, like he apparently can bench press like 50 reps of 315 in one set. That's crazy. Do you imagine the muscle maturity it must have for you to be able to do that? I can't even do 145 for 50 reps, and I can bench press 315. Actually, I don't even want to say that because it's been a while since I bench pressed 315. The highest I did, I think, recently was 275. But I've been now recently getting back in the gym. I've had a lot of time to sit on a lot of this shit. But muscle maturity, maturing the muscles, paying attention, being aware. From what I know, he still doesn't have any injuries, and he's been incredibly consistent. All he does is preach that shit. So then even with him, I'll bring up Eric Bugenhagen and other lifters, bro. It's like they'll even talk about it. But fuck that. I'm just going to go off my experience. That's my issue with it. And I think you can hit muscles from every angle. You just want to pay attention and focus and be aware of how you're doing it. Because, again, any angle, man. You can do any angle. I can go this way, come up, be like that, you know, I can go like that. I can twist like this. I can move around. My shoulders are mobile as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, boom. People are like perplexed, like Juji Mufu, who can do the splits, and he's fucking big as fuck. And then people are like, whoa. Or you see some huge fat guy who's doing these fucking flips. It's like, whoa, we can do a lot more than we think. So don't get so rigid when it comes to your fucking training, man. Think a little bit outside the box, you know? That's all I gotta say. But again, I'll say it again. Most of the time, these injuries happen is when people are not paying attention. I'm not exempt either. When people aren't paying attention and they're lifting heavier than they should with something that they're not used to. You know what I mean? It's like if you're used to usually dumbbelling like 10s or 20s with shoulder raises, and then you jump right into 50s. You're most likely going to injure yourself because you don't have that maturity and that awareness fully to really control it. And I even go to like perfect form again. You know what I mean? Like I've had there's a video on here where I'm curling 60-pound weights, and I had some guy like, it doesn't matter if you're not perfect forming it, you know? And I'm just like, I'm like, it does actually fucking matter because you're still lifting the weight. Obviously, you don't want to get injured, right? And nobody wants to get injured. But dude, like, okay, man, sometimes shit, like life, you gotta hoist shit up. You gotta fucking pick shit up. You gotta hoist it up. You're not gonna be like, don't worry, I'm gonna save you from this car. Wait, is my form? Well, you probably make sure your form is really perfect actually in that situation. You would try your best, right? But let's say you're doing a weight, it's like 50s or 40s or some shit, and then at the end, you might. I even think this is okay as long as you're swinging consciously. You feel your shoulder. You're not jetting too hard. You know what I mean? But you're still working your muscles, man, and you're still lifting 60 pounds. That's gonna mature your muscles, and then you can really start doing it like this. And then you could do it like this. But if you're so anal about perfect, I think it'll just take you a little longer. And there's a little bit more you can do, but you got to find your own journey. All I'm saying with this, because I kind of went on a rant, is basically that that's my issues with that, is being too rigid, being too scientific sometimes. You're not really expressing your fullness of your body that you could be.